Hi, my name is Jorge Pires. I'm a Ph.D. student at the moment, and I'm producing this video as a kind of experiment that this will be uploaded to the Socratic website. So let's I like a lot to explain the history. I mean, how you arrived so far, and I'm sorry. This video here was for this part of here of this part here was taken for a talk. So the title here you just have to neglect it. So basically, anatomy is a quite recent subject. It was before the 16th century. It was just based on philosophy from the Greek philosophers, and there was no, they say, there was no first-hand information until a scientist which is called Andreas Vesalius. He decided to make he decided to investigate some body of dead prisoners, which he was in Padua in Italy. But he was not Italian. Anyway, he started to read a book on the structure of the human body. As the story goes, that was the first-hand description of the human body. So far, it was just philosophy. So a little bit close to that, you had William Harvey. William Harvey was very important because at his time the circulatory system was thought to be by pores. So they thought that the pores would leave from the center and it would go all over the body. But William Harvey believed in that theory, but he tried to make experiment with frog, and he realized that this theory could not be right. So he gave a lot of contributions there, because the circulatory system is a very nice example of mechanics and work. So it's a very successful ideas about modeling, about mechanics. So he was able to apply the ideas of Newton in a very precise way. So he was able to explain the circulatory system in an approach using the equation of Newton. So that was amazing for the time. It showed that the circulatory system could be explained as a mechanical system. The circulatory system has the heart as the center. So the heart is the most important part of the circulatory system. The heart is a kind of it's an organ the size of your fist. So it's relatively small, but it's very important. It makes a huge function. It's a pump. It's not let's say something that sunk. So it just pour blood out of the heart. So it's mainly a kind of, let's say, chamber. It's like 4 chambers, and it has several many tube that goes out of the heart. You have two circuits, let's say two systems that the heart will fit. One of them is the lung. The lung will be the one that communicates to the external body. So by the lung you have the oxygen, then you let CO2 comes out. So it's a kind of exchange. It's the indoor and the outdoor of the human body when it comes to gas. Second, as I said before, there are 2 circuits, different circuits. One of them is the lung. The second one is the one that goes to the body. So the one that goes to the body is a much bigger, it's a much bigger circuit. It's composed by artery, which is the one that leaves the heart. Here we have the artery. The artery, they are very thick. They have some kind of muscles. In general they are flexible because they need to be strong. That way the pulse that you have in your heart, the way that you have that kind of pulsatile. Let's say if you make a graph with pressure in your let's say the pressure in your in your artery, the pressure, you have something like more or less like this, have a kind of movement of pressure. This happens because this the heart should pump the blood it's continuously, but this movement of the artery we try to make this as continuous as possible. So one of the function of this kind of compliance, this kind of flexibility of the artery, is to make this kind of smoothing process of the circulatory system, of the pressure that you have in the blood pressure. Second one will be the vein. They are in sequence. The vein, they tend to be thinner. They are smaller. As you see here, go from the thickness. The thickness go here. So this one is thicker. This one is less. The capillary, they are very thin. They're extremely thin. They are in the end of the let's say of the circulatory system. They are the end of the circulatory system. So here they have they are very thin. So since they are very thin, you can pass gas by them. So gas. So you have the oxygen and the any kind of nutrient who comes out by the walls of the capillary, and the waste and CO2 will come in. So here you have the, let's say, the good blood, and here you have the bad blood. The good blood is the blood that's full of oxygen, is clean. The other one is the dirty blood that's full of CO2 and the waste of the cell. So it comes back like this. So the vein is composed of some kind of muscle, because it's important, such as when you shiver, when like you feel cold and so on. All of this, there is muscle that control the veins. So the veins create kind of resistance for the outside system in order to let's say to make a kind of control of the speed of the whole. See that this whole system is connected. So the heart is inside of a kind of closed loop. So this closed loop is not connected. So anything that happens in one point, it happens in the other. So the vein, they help to have control of pressure, such as when it's very hot. When it's very hot, you should have a kind of a very fast circulation in order to make the heat to comes out from the environment. When it is very cold, you should not have you should have a very low circulation in order to avoid for you to lose the heat. So the circulatory system has the function as well to control your body temperature, in order to avoid it to get too hot or too cold. So that's another function. And all of this is done by the collaboration between artery, vein, and capillary. The capillary, they are very weak. They can be damaged and so on. They are very thin. They, in general, usually they are the diameter of a capillary is the size of a cell, or even smaller. In some cases, the cell the cell is like this. It's supposed to stay like this to pass. They're supposed to deform in order to pass by the capillary. So the circulation of the blood, the functionality of the circulatory system is, of course, circulation of blood, control of temperature, which is a kind of another function, the movement of important molecules. So the molecules such as oxygen and the one such as waste should circulate. One should comes out, the other should comes in. So all of this is done by the circulatory system. So the circulatory system is not so perfect as some people in general think. Such as it adapts to certain situations. That if you go to a place in which you have a high pressure or a low pressure, all of this can make your heart, let's say, beat very fast, or can create a kind of heart attack. And such as lifestyle in which you do not eat very well, the people has problem with pressure. All of this because your heart is a kind of machine, let's say, a kind of a bio machine that is adapted to a kind of situation, and it has some power to adaptation, but not so much. It has some limitation. The heart has not the power to suck If you see by the scheme, the function of the circulatory system is centered on the heart, and the heart is just able to pull the blood, not to push. So it means that you should have other ways to do that, and that it done generally by some kind of small system, as if you see in the, let's say, in the veins of your legs, they have a system like this, more or less. So when you walk, the blood goes up, then it does not come down. So that's one of the reasons why walk is so important, because your heart is unable to do the job by itself. For example, when you are in the hospital, generally they give a kind of a substance, a kind of shot injection, in which to help the circulation. Because if you stay too much in the bed, you have problem of circulation, because your heart is not so strong to make the circulation if you do not give it hand. Let's say this way. So the heart is the most important component, such as that is, if the heart stop, the whole system stop.